Hello and welcome to JETCAST, a new monthly broadcast from JETMS, the global provider of integrated world-class aircraft solutions. My name is Victoria Bryan. I'm the Deputy Editor of Aerotime and I'm delighted to be your host for this first episode. You're joining us here in the Aerotime Hub building in the heart of Vilnius, where I will be joined by Vitas, the CEO of JETMS, and Kieran, the Managing Director of JETMS Completions. We're going to find out what they think about the current state of the industry and where we're going from here. So, let's go and meet them. Vitas, Kieran, it's great to see you both here. Thank you. Now, you both have extensive careers in the aviation industry. I'm told that what you two don't know about the aviation industry just simply isn't worth knowing. So it's great that you're here for this first videocast today. The last few years, they've certainly been challenging for the aviation sector. It's been a unique set of circumstances. I mean, at the moment, we've got the war in Ukraine, we've got rising inflation, and we've still got the hangover from the COVID-19 pandemic. I don't want to be too gloomy though, because there are some positive signs, and JETMS is a growing business, and we're going to touch on all of these topics here today. But first of all, I'll come to you, Vitas. What's your general overview of the industry right now?
Well, first of all, hi Victoria. Thank you for inviting us here. I see several trends. One of them is great, another is not that good. The great thing is that the industry is very much busy right now at the moment. Lots of flights is going on. Maintenance organizations are also fully booked. So that is a good thing. But from another perspective, I can feel that the growth is stopping. The pace is slowing down just because we all miss of the talents. The industry lost a lot of talents, and now we all need to think, how to gain them back in order to move forward even faster.
It's really interesting you said you're busy there. Can you maybe share with us a bit more about where the growth is actually coming from right now? What sort of areas of business are busy?
Yeah, that's a good question. In our case, it's very simple. We just shifted our location from east to west. We found several huge customers who decided to trust us, and they have chosen us as a preferred supplier. So those few customers has filled our hangar till the early spring of next year.
Fantastic. Kieran, what about your perspective, maybe from the slightly more Western European point of view?
Yeah, as you know, we're based in Biggin Hill. Very fortunate to be based in the south of England. Quite a long tradition of business jet traffic in Farnborough, Biggin Hill. We're seeing a lot of traffic growth in that area. All over the pandemic, business jet traffic was very strong. A lot of interest in the whole southeast of England, whether that's new OEM traffic coming in, a lot more customers coming in, a lot more of the interest of the business jet operators, your NetJets, VistaJet, people like that. That market's very strong. Challenges obviously at the moment, it's the whole economic prediction for the UK, which seems to be changing on a daily basis. But it's the same challenges as everybody. It's utility prices, certainly inflationary pressures, and as Vitas alluded to there, the skill-based issue. I think where we are slightly more affected by that due to the Brexit effect in the UK, but it's just another complication, but in a generally upbeat and buoyant market.
Okay. I want to go back to something a bit more positive, the growth prospects of JETMS. I mean, you're very busy at the moment. Everything's booked out. How do you see the market going forwards? How are you intending to grow? Do you see space for mergers and acquisitions in the industry, Vitas?
Yes, actually, we have two directions. One is an organic growth for all of our companies, and the bigger step forward is definitely coming through the mergers and acquisitions. When we talk about organic growth, for example, here in Vilnius, in Lithuania, we are planning to expand our hangar space in the future. We are also looking to expand existing service portfolio. So that is expansion of the, by organically. Mergers and acquisitions, it helps us to enter into new markets. The same what we did with previous acquisition in Biggin Hill. So we are looking widely, globally, but we don't want to be too fast by expanding. We need to be as good as we can in our home bases and then do next steps into other regions and other products.
Are there specific regions that have caught your eye that JETMS is keen to move into in the future?
Well, my personal dream in the end of the day definitely is United States. It's 60-70% of business aviation market, so every player should be there one way or another. From the other business segments like interior production, we definitely see a huge potential in Asia Pacific, in Middle East and European market. But I think Kieran will talk more about that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about, I mean, the Biggin Hill acquisition. This was just recently during the pandemic even. It was a bold time to make an acquisition, if I may say so. So what are your plans for Biggin Hill in the UK? How are you going to grow JETMS there?
I think firstly, Biggin Hill, expand the footprint quite dramatically at Biggin Hill. We are looking at mergers and acquisitions, just even within the Biggin Hill footprint. The group has recently purchased quite a large facility, so we will move location into that and grow. The nice thing is, a lot of that growth is almost at the demand of our clients. So we're being asked to grow, to expand our portfolio. The second part is within the UK. So, the two major airports for business jets are Biggin Hill, Farnborough. It's certainly the major hubs. So we are being asked to move into Farnborough by some quite large clients, which of course we're happy to do, especially during this economic downturn. But it's a bit of a strange industry because whilst all the indicators are moving backwards, we're powering forwards. So our growth will definitely outstrip any of the economic pressures that we're seeing. Next part really is, as Vita said, is expansion out of the UK in the interior space. We're very focused on bizjet interiors. So it's going to be a move into the commercial airline interiors, and then the Middle East, Far Eastern market, and at some point the US market, because it definitely, from a market percentage, it's where it is. But it's an area where your mergers and acquisition philosophy will alter. Partnerships will become more prevalent than the pure hardcore M&A activity.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that actually, because I think coming out of the pandemic, we've seen a lot of partnerships in the airline space as well, with some unusual code shares going on that maybe weren't thought about before the pandemic. So Vitas, maybe just say, how important will partnerships be for JETMS going forwards? Are there a lot of discussions around those at the moment?
So it's a vital thing as for all our industries, nothing special here. I don't talk about competition in the market, I'm talking about cooperation in the market. And it doesn't matter if it's UK, Germany or Switzerland company, we can support each other in terms of shifting employees towards and back, or changing the services which we could provide each to other. Because it's pretty much impossible to have everything under one roof. So customer base is different, customer needs are different. So for me, the strategic partnership is a vital thing to have.
Great. And all of these growth plans, expansion plans, it's a fantastic thing. But one thing the aviation industry has really struggled with over the last year or two is finding the right staff. It's been a real shortage of skilled workers going on, and it's been throughout all parts of the aviation chain. So maybe can you just talk to us about your experiences of that, Kieran? How has it been for you in the UK in particular?
In the UK, like I said earlier, we've kind of been hit with a twofold problem. The first is the obvious Brexit problem. A lot of aviation skilled labour left the UK and merged back into the European market, either by necessity or a timing issue, shall we say. The second piece is just a general lack of skilled labour in the market. And aviation historically has gone through cycles of really entering into a training boom, and then the cycle drops. Yeah. And it needs to learn, and hasn't really learned yet, that needs to be a straight line process. So a lot of companies now, and it's a good thing, are ramping up their training regimes, and they're also having a rethink of what makes aviation attractive. Historically, there were no shortage of applicants to go into aviation. It's a fantastic industry. Now aviation has to rethink its model. How do you attract talent, especially skilled design talent, engineering talent, where they can go to F1,
Yeah.
they can go to other design industries, or we can drag them into aviation. So it has, like any problem, the outcome's a positive. And the positive is we've got to rethink how do we attract, maintain the talent in the UK. But we're doing it. We've attracted a lot of new applicants. We've raised our workforce by probably 20% in the last 6 months, with plans to increase that further. So some clever marketing and some clever management.
Vitas, I want to come back to you and just pick up on something that Kieran said there. I mean, aviation was once, a dream for a lot of people to work in. I think what's going to be crucial is attracting young talent to the aviation industry. And of course, these young people have seen how volatile aviation has been over this pandemic. It's taken a beating. So what can JETMS do to try and attract more young people?
So we do a pure sales activities for people. We are going to the universities, to colleges. We are presenting our company, inviting them to us, talking about aviation industry, about the upcoming exciting new business streams in aviation industry. And we are just literally trying to sell it again. The good thing here in Lithuania, we managed to keep all our talents, a majority of our talents, but when we look further to support our growth, we need to win a new bunch of people from other industries, telco, car industries, even furniture industries, if we think about production of the interior goods. So it's a fight for the talents, and we need to do it.
Yeah. What would you say to someone to try and get them interested in aviation? And we all love aviation, obviously, but what's maybe your marketing message that you want to tell people to why they should work in the aviation industry and not for a car company? Maybe Kieran, go for it.
I think the one thing I've seen in aviation, I've been in aviation my whole career, is it's not what I'd call a linear career. It doesn't work in straight lines. It's more like a spider's web. I've worked across every facet of engineering. And I think that should be an attractive proposition to a young person coming in. So you've got your skills from university or trade skills. Who knows where you end up? Who knows what part of the industry you end up in? The key part for us is to keep them in the industry and also, in some respects, work with them during their career. Don't stop people progressing because they may just move out.
Yeah.
Let's assist them to move sideways, forwards. And everybody I know in aviation who has stayed has moved across the whole breadth of the industry. And that's why it becomes a very mild obsession, I think, for all of us as an industry.
Definitely. Yeah. Anything to add, Vitas?
Well, it's romantic, it's global, it's multinational, lots of traveling, lots of fun. I've been in telco, in banking industry, in aviation. I left and I was missing a lot. So I came back to feel the life of this planet. So aviation industry is the best for that. And this is what we're telling to the young people in the universities.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that we've seen, the changes to many people's working lives as a result of the pandemic is the new hybrid ways of working. I mean, obviously it doesn't work across all areas of aviation, but maybe Vitas, what can JETMS offer in terms of a new way of working for people?
So when we talk about technical people who work with the aircrafts, definitely nothing can be done yet. But even thinking further with IoT 5, Internet of Things, maybe something will be done. But now it is as it is. But for the back office people, for the commercial people, we're definitely offering the flexibility to choose how we work. In the end of the day, the most important thing is the result. We really do not care where the people are. The delivery of the result is the most important thing. And if people they proving that they are capable to do something from home or from abroad, that's fine. So we are trying to become more flexible as possible it is to support our core business.
I think we saw that during the pandemic, the acceleration of the video technology that's available to everybody. I don't know how many years it gained in a short period of time, but it seemed to accelerate massively.
It's a lot.
Business travel, hybrid working, we've got quite a large team of designers, and designers being creative people, it's almost better put them in the space where you allow them to be creative. And if that's at home, and you get, as Vita says, they generate the product that the client needs, I see that only as a positive. The one downside of hybrid working is making sure that they stay connected with their team, their teammates. We saw during COVID a real decline in people's touch point with the team. We had staff members who joined us for 18 months and had never met their colleagues. So again, it's just another cog in the machine for the management team to manage and protect. But it's definitely a valuable solution if it's actually possible.
But just to add, people are not that massive, not so big fans of hybrid work as we think. We have an option to do so, and it's already good for them. But when I see and observe how much do they use of this hybrid working solution, it's not a massive trend, because to stay together, to work together, to win together, it influences their spirit.
We'll end up with a blend, as you always do. It will just be a blended product. Marketplace tells us blended products are always the most successful.
Yeah. Now, before we go, we're coming to the end of this session today, but there's a couple of other topics I wanted to just briefly mention: regulation and sustainability. We'll be discussing these in far more detail in future episodes of JETCAST. But sustainability, I can't leave you today without some word on it. There's been a lot of talk over it. There's been a lot of progress. How is sustainability manifesting itself in the MRO arena? Maybe Kieran, I'll start with you on that one.
I think the first thing on everyone's lips with sustainability is sustainable fuels. I think that's currently the hot topic. Very much commercial airliner based at the moment, so that technology will come. At the moment, we said blend before for products. That's currently what's happening. They're blending 10%, 20%. In our field, in the interiors, you're starting to see a client demand. The people that own private jets are very invested in their aircraft, and they're becoming more and more aware of the need for sustainable products. So we're seeing a lot of pressure in the industry now to work with manufacturers to create the next generation of sustainable materials to be used. All of the materials that we use are highly regulated, highly certified for safety. So you need to be able to overlay that regulation and safety need with sustainable products, same aesthetics, and within a certain cost base. So I would say the next five to 10 years, the major change will be the product type and making sure that it's a sustainable approach. So that's in the interior space.
Yeah. And Vitas, as CEO of JETMS, what sort of measures is JETMS taking as a company to be more sustainable? What can you do?
Well, we manage huge facilities, which burns a lot of gas and uses a lot of electricity. So definitely solar panels, which I think all self-respecting companies should look for. Refurbishment and renovation of the old infrastructure should be done also. Our cars, machines, gasoline and diesel should be changed into the electric vehicles. But from my personal view, the most important thing is education for the people, for the employees. I mean, simple thing, you're leaving office, please switch off the light, right? Or if you need a meeting with customer, how many times do you fly, or how many times you could make a video meeting? Now, in the end, I would say the most beautiful example is this piece of art, a great example of ours, where MROs are supporting end-of-life cycle for the aircraft, right? For example, this beautiful bird, we took away several thousand of spare parts. We sold it to the aftermarket, and now it's after overhauling. It's used in the flying machines. And here we have a beautiful example, which makes us smiling every day and happy every day. So yeah, this is what can we do, all of us, actually.
Fantastic. Well, Vitas and Kieran, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today. There is so much more we could talk about in this, but we are out of time in this first episode of the JETMS JETCAST. However, we will be back next month with the next episode of the JETMS JETCAST, when we will be telling the story of this beautiful Bombardier CRJ 200 and its amazing new life here in the atrium of the Aerotime Hub building. So please stay tuned for that. We'll see you next month. My name is Victoria Bryan, and you've been watching JETCAST from JETMS. Thank you and goodbye.